Good evening, everybody. Today is April 24th, 2014. It is Season 3, Episode 2. And tonight we've got a lot to talk about, so we are going to get started. Now. Hello once again, everybody. My name is Thomas, and joining me tonight to my left or right, one of those directions, we have...
I think I'm there. Bobby, hey.
And I'm in the other direction. Brandon, hey.
All right, well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And by a lot, I mean like 4 things. And we'll go ahead and get started pretty quick. First piece of news, and we're going to kind of keep it on a timeline here for this. June 7th or 8th, one of those days, they're going to be recording as I pull up my calendar because I, completely forgot if it was the 7th or 8th. And it's the 7th. June 7th, they are going to be recording the season finale of The Next Great Starship, where they will be crowning a winner. And will be happening in Los Angeles. And concierge level people, I believe, have received their invitations. I know I got mine, got my ticket, I'm ready to go. And so while I'm there, I'm going to do what I can to try to get some video, images, etc., and try to get that out to you guys. Coming possibly before that, maybe after that, is the Dogfighting module. We're getting closer and closer to the inevitable release. And judging by Facebook posts and a little bit of Wingman's Hangar, I don't think we're going to get it in April. What do you guys think?
I'm shooting for middle of May. That's my gut feeling.
I would have to concur with my colleague here. I don't think if we are going to see some DFM release, it's going to be for a very small crowd for testing because it is needs some love, needs some loving.
Yeah,
needs some more work.
Definitely not ready for prime time yet. We've seen a lot of good stuff about it. We talked a lot last episode about what was going on at PAX, and now they put out a video this weekend, and by this weekend I mean last weekend, about some of the stuff we might have missed from PAX, and I'm going to start rolling that on B-roll with a fancy new lower third, if I can hit the button. So, as we're seeing here in the video, and these guys have taken a look at it, and they might be watching now, they're probably a few seconds behind if they're watching my stream. They've been showing just kind of some of the more effects of getting in and out of your ship, ejecting, we saw this, but the whiteouts and the redouts and all that fun stuff, or blackouts and redouts, all that fun stuff for
the
G-forces.
epic helmet flip.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that was particularly exciting from my point of view was the EVA stuff when he ejected from the cockpit and started doing a little bit of flying around. What did you guys think?
Man, Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was thinking the PBR really made a big difference on the uniform, the spacesuit that you're wearing. I thought it looked fantastic. Yeah,
I went ahead and pulled that up on the stream so you guys can't see it. And those of you watching along at home, you can kind of see the spacesuit. He is doing some maneuvering around. It looks like he's using, his, I would assume, would be an RCS thruster-based backpack kind of thing floating around. It looks really good. I mean, they really nailed that effect. What I was hoping for and didn't see was the thrusting vectoring on the backpack or on his spacesuit. Yeah. And with I don't know if that's just something that they haven't gotten a chance to do yet. I don't know if that's something that they're not going to do. But it amazes me where it's so detailed on the ships, yet it's missing from the backpack. But again,
yeah, because you'd think they would have to be something like on the front too, right?
Kind of push you around.
Yeah,
a little bit. It's not like the NASA one where you've got the little shoulders above you with the RCS
the backpack
ports.
that looks like you're going to go for like a 3-month hiking trip. It's so freaking huge.
Yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. I mean, if the complaint is that the backpack doesn't have RCS ports on it that eject things to maneuver them around in space, that's such a minor complaint.
It is.
Yeah.
I had one comment and a potential inquiry because I like it. I was saying before the show, flying around in the spacesuit, if there is like a first person view of that, I can. Oh my god, this freaking screenshots for that would be ridiculous. Just looking at the demo level that they've been playing in the DFM, there's some really good lighting and stuff in there that would really make for some really good screenshots. But if we're wearing a little, because the backpack or the little suit is so tight and form fitting, I wonder if you would run out of thrust or whatever it is that's pushing. I don't know if it's air or whatever it is, but the little thrusters. I wonder if you would ever run out of fuel for those. And if that happens, do you need to call in like a rescue ship, with a tracker beam?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I know with the NASA one, you're actually pushing out compressed gas.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your fuel. And it doesn't really show here.
Well, we also only saw the third person view of it. We didn't see a first person. And Chris has always said you're never going to see a HUD element in third person view anyway. So that's could be there, but they don't have it done. Yeah, they might not have it done and didn't want to show us. So
yeah.
It'd be great though if I ran out of fuel and I'm just sitting there floating away. It's like the end of Wing Commander where Chris has his cameo and he swoops in and uses his tractor beam to rescue me.
What this kind of reminded me of when he ejects in the video, it kind of reminded me of that scene in Gravity, and it's one of those really good scenes in Gravity that they got the physics spot on when she was spinning on that tether, kind of spoiler alerty thing. She was spinning on a tether, and when that tether was separated, she got flung off. That inertia carried her with it. So I'm wondering if in the ejection sequence, if you're charging in a certain direction, if you eject, are you just going to kind of float out? Or are you going to slingshot out and carry, that forward momentum or directional speed that you were going? And I think that could make some really crazy ejection sequences where you're flying towards a ship or something and you eject and splatter into a ship.
They will get so many internet points if this happens. You're in your ship. You're getting shot. It's like, eject. You're hearing like smoke and sparks and shit flying. You hit eject. The lid comes off. Silence.
Yes.
Dude,
that would be awesome.
Dude, like not even just silence, but like a drowning, like noise canceling headphone just drown silence. That would be awesome.
The other cool thing, the only thing that you hear is your enviro suit. There's the little or the hums or the buzzes and the clicks or what are those chambers called? Those isolation chambers or something? Soundproof chambers where it gets so quiet that you can start to hear the blood rushing through your veins. Like, how crazy would that be?
Like, you're moving and you're thrusting in your suit, and you don't hear you just hear the, the moving of the suit through the vibration, Oh, man.
But Chris has already said you're going to have that option to make everything go silent. The only thing is that the transition that you're talking about between the ejection system and being out in pure space versus your cockpit, I would love to have that. I wouldn't want it in the cockpit because I agree with Chris. You want to know where the fire's coming from and everything. But that would be badass. I agree with you, Bobby.
Yeah, there's that certain level of storytelling that you lose when you stick 100% to physics. And I'm a fan of 100% physics. But if in a space battle, if you're not hearing anything but a ping ping as your ship is being shot at, and your ship systems. It's kind of takes away from the cinematic effect of, the pew pew laser sound as they zoom overhead. But
my mind just got blown, man. I was just sitting here in my head imagining ejecting while wearing an Oculus Rift. Because Thomas, when we went to Disney World and we did that space thing, I got I got sick to my stomach. So if I eject and I'm wearing an Oculus Rift and I got like a really good headset and I'm just sitting there floating around,
I think you'll be fine. I don't think it was the visuals that were making you sick. I think it was the G-forces that were making you sick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But just that, that would be crazy.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, all this does is further make me want this now. And I know that they're doing the right thing by showing us these development diaries and all these things. But at the same time, it's like, I almost don't want information. I almost want to wait to get that surprise.
Yeah, the videos are saying, "Man, this stuff is really awesome, but this is why it's not ready."
You know that point when you eject and your ship's supposed to, fly away. Instead of flying away, it actually shatters into a million pieces, and
it's stabbed with shards of shit.
And the glass cockpit canopy is like now a necklace for you as you've clipped through it.
Oh my god!
So yeah, I mean it's definitely really exciting, and I highly recommend it. In that lower third video, and I'll pull it back up for you. It does have the proper search term for it. If you're not following the YouTube channel of RSI, you just search in Arena Commander PAX East and Beyond, and that will pull it up, and you'll get to see some of the stuff. I mean, even right now on the video, you can see some of the. I'm assuming that's frost effects from the cool temperatures of space.
Yeah,
and it's definitely some exciting stuff. So they definitely have my paycheck when it comes. So some of the other news, we did hit, what is it, the $41-42 million? Gosh, we keep dinging up so fast. It's hard for me to keep everything straight. We hit what, 42 or 41?
42.
Okay, and we're about to hit 43.
Like this weekend, probably going to happen.
Yeah. So one of the features of 40 of the 40s, we'll just call it the 40s that we unlocked, was the infamous space towel. And I hesitate to mention this because it is so ridiculous, but it is something that I think deserves to be mentioned. Space towels.
You can't leave the hangar without a space towel.
Yeah, it's like a MasterCard or American Express. You don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
Now the worst part about the towel, and it is that it has damage states. You will be able to shoot your towel and have it reflected through damage. Am I the only one here who just thinks that this is just outright ridiculous?
Or is it for the frugal space traveler who doesn't spend money on toilet paper?
Who was it that mentioned in pre-show about putting it in the Connie with them in the bathroom? I mean,
oh, it's totally clean, bro. It's totally clean.
It looks kind of dirty. No, I was shooting at it. I promise you.
It's a space towel. It's clean.
Yeah.
So I guess you were telling me that the trivia behind that is, and we all know, anyone who has any science fiction background knows that 42 has a special significance through Hitchhiker's Guide. But you were saying that the reason 42 and the towel is because Chris Roberts is a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide, right?
Yeah, that's what he's admitted to publicly, so he can't take it back now.
Yeah.
So, but I do appreciate the fact that he's doing something to, even though he enjoys it, he's giving it his own personal touch of why he enjoys something.
Yeah.
Into his creation. So.
Yeah, it's at this point, to me, it's just silly, but it's awesome silly. Like,
well, the towel could have a function. I mean, if you do eject and if you are smart and you take your towel with you, like you should be doing, and you have to eject, you might be able to like
frost effect. It's to clean the frost effect.
A handkerchief, like solar sail that thing or something to like pull you somewhere.
I know you can't see me because the stream is so far behind, but just know my head is shaking side to side, side to side to side to side.
That is bad science.
Oh, not big enough, my friend, but that would be awesome.
Size does matter.
Size, unfortunately, does matter with solar sails. And, also needing something to push that away, like, a solar body that's emitting. But anyway, enough physics. So I just think it's crazy. And I like the fact that it's the $42 million goal. I like the fact that it is, a kind of an homage to all things Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Now, if we see people sticking their thumb out, you better pick them up.
Well, I mean, they have to have the guide with them, and they have to be able to recite, what is it, Volon poetry? What was that? What was their species? Volon? Votron?
I can't remember.
I can't remember it, but... Oh, and I'm sure, like, comments are, how did you not know? Bah! But, yeah, I think that's the rules that you have to at some point.
You have to talk really deep and slow like they do.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that's pretty awesome. I hope to see more. These are the type of Easter eggs that I love in games, where they're just that slight homage to something, but it's not overly obvious. You play so many MMOs and you love it at first because it's really cool, and it's, oh look, that's a reference to Paris Hilton, and I'm of course referring to Paris Hilton's Endless Hole, the bag from World of Warcraft, or Harris Pilton's Endless Hole. So you get these things, and it's kind of funny at first, but then 2 or 3 years later, as that becomes less and less relevant, it's the pop culture reference, it starts to kind of it makes the game dated. I mean, you obviously know that this was from a time where that was happening. And I want Star Citizen, since it is a futuristic based game, to avoid those type of pop culture references. And to be more along the lines of something like this, where it's more of a tip of the hat and less of a Harris.
It's an
Pilton.
homage to where it's come from, because we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for Hitchhikers or other science fiction works out there. And I like that he's giving again that nod to where it's been.
Yeah. Another thing that I've kind of noticed recently, and I've heard a lot of other people talk about it, are kind of people wanting to see some of these references. I think last week they talked about it on Sonny's Diner podcast. They talked about having maybe an X-wing or something crash somewhere that's not something that you would ever control, but more something that you would see. And I think I'm okay with those type of things, but I never. And we've talked about this in season 1. I think I don't even like celebrity voice actors.
Well, they have a Wing Commander reference. One of the crashed ships.
Oh yeah,
the artwork.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that, but I don't want it. I don't want to see
Squadrons of X-wings.
Squadrons of X-wings, or the UEE releasing.
Wait a second. Are you telling me I can't install some sort of sound pack so that every ship that I have sounds like a TIE fighter? It makes it annoying.
And you should be able to do that, but that should not be in
private
my game.
server. Private servers are where you're going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just lost Bobby.
I think we did. And I just lost my train of thought on something. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but it was relevant and it was really good. And
Space Wookiees, is that what it was?
No, not Space Wookiees.
Okay.
It was something
You were
good.
talking about why you didn't want to see so many pop culture references or.
Oh, okay. Back in season 1, we talked about celebrity voice actors.
Yeah.
And how I felt about celebrity voice actors. I don't like them. I don't mind a celebrity voice actor doing a voice, but I don't want it to be a voice that they're known for. I don't want, and
you don't
right
want
now,
Bill Nye being the bad, evil vampire guy.
yes.
Or Mark Hamill being the Joker.
Yeah. I don't mind them having celebrities, but I don't want it to be the character of their voice. What's this, like Colonel Ty from Battlestar? Granted, that's
the commander.
but his voice that he has is very distinctive, and it doesn't have a lot of range. At least in the characters that I've heard, there's not a lot of range. So you just literally have taken Colonel Ty, who was in Battlestar, and now made him warlock general dude or whatever in what's that game? Dragons Elder Scrolls.
He was General Tullius in Skyrim, right?
Skyrim. I didn't see General Tullius. All I saw was Colonel Ty, because he's so that, and I don't want, and that's what I don't want. I don't mind that. Oh, isn't that so and so from so and so? But I don't want it to be that so and so's character from so and so.
Yeah,
I know it's a fine line, and people probably disagree with me on that, but this is a unique story with unique lore, and I want it to stay unique, not have Paris Hilton's hole and all this and celebrity voice actor who was Darth Vader to be, Darth Vader-y sounding in the game. Yeah, neither here nor there. So, next great Starship updates that I think Chris is doing his one-on-ones currently with the teams, kind of giving them the feedback, and the ships are already looking so good. Like, I keep flip-flopping as far as which one I like, because they take Chris Roberts' advice, or some of them have been kind of doing what the other judges have said, and the ships are starting. They each have a unique flair and flavor that I'm really digging. So right now,
some of those ships look mean, man. They look.
I don't even know which. I really want an asymmetrical ship, but I don't think there's anyone left with asymmetrics. I didn't want the ships. What are your thoughts? I'm sorry.
I do like the feedback that also the community's been giving. If you've been watching those episodes, they've been giving a lot of nods back. But I like what Chris has to say as well. It's your ship. Make the ship that you want to make. Don't if it doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. And I think that's important for any creative process. And I like that the way that Chris is talking to people in the Next Great Starship is he's not saying this doesn't work or I think you should change this. He points out things that just don't look right. And he says he challenges them to go out and make the change. He's not telling them what to do.
Well, I mean, he seems to do a lot too, and a lot of the other judges have been saying this. It's what fits within your culture kit. You know, it's not necessarily that we need the ship to have 2 wings, 2 engines, a cockpit, and it needs to be configured in this exact formation. It's, you know, the guns in this universe mount like so. So they should have, you know, an obvious mount point at this location. Or, you know, space flaps work like this in this configuration. Or these textures work like that. So he's more or less...
Space flaps, you say?
Yes, space flaps. In this particular case, space flaps, because these ships are, you know, come into the atmosphere. So I will give them space flaps. So he's a lot of the suggestions have been, you know, kind of in that realm of, okay, our texturing looks like this, make it look like that. You know, make your texturing match our style. It hasn't necessarily been, you made a pineapple and I wanted a banana. So I've enjoyed that. And all the ships look extremely different. And they're all getting to the point where they look like they're at the quality of the rest of the ships that we've seen in game. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Do you have a favorite right now, either of you?
I don't know who's still in the race or whatever, but I like what the 4 Horsemen have been doing. Some of the styles of their ships. You know, they've got some that look like they would make really cool small drone-ish type of ships, but they've got some that look like they would make really cool looking not necessarily like see, in my mind a Corvette is a smaller ship, but I guess that's not a reality. It like maybe like a large or a heavy fighter type of thing. Like a gunboat or something like that. They've got some really cool looking ships that would fit those type of roles.
Well, I'm still on with 3 Dingo. You know, I still think there's...
I was on the 3 Dingo beat with you, and I keep kind of flipping around. I mean, Try was doing some really good stuff, and I know these teams are all every team I care about is going to be eliminated. That happens in every reality show, every presidential election. The dude or dudette that I want to win never does. So maybe it's a good thing that I keep waffling, so that it will truly be a surprise, and I won't be disappointed when the team I'm rooting for doesn't make it. But some pretty cool stuff. So,
well, I'll be honest. I really want to see more than just one of these people make it into the game.
Yeah,
I don't think I could live with just one, and Chris has even said so. So I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah. And I think the same thing too. I have a feeling that it's going to be definitely more than one. One person will win the grand prize, but there will be more than one ship that makes it into game in some capacity or another. So, all right, Brandon, you wanted to talk a little bit about the room system. What is that? Fill us in. Well,
the room system is a very intricate system to allow players to customize their room, their hangars. And it's not just going to be used by players. It's also going to be used by the AI. You know, you've heard before that the AI is going to change their professions, or they're going to move out of a particular planet to go somewhere else if the economy is better for their particular product, things like that. But the room system is going to allow those types of variables to influence the size of space that they're going to be using for a storefront, or what they're going to be having available to you at that storefront. So I think for me, just being able to go down on a planet, see different people, see different stores from week to week or day to day, that's going to add a whole level of dynamic range that we've never seen.
Yeah.
And the Moby Glass is what players will use to change their hangars around. And it looked very quick. To me, it kind of resembled, I don't know if you guys played Star Wars Galaxies when they had the housing system.
I played it before it got bad. So
Yeah.
after the effect. It was that before or after the changes?
It was after.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I didn't remember doing anything with that, but I mean, it definitely sounds interesting, and I'm glad to see that the integration into Moby-Glass and things like that. So, so I'm assuming that we're not going to see this though until release. We're not going to get a chance to do anything with our hangars early, or do you think we're before the game releases with the hangar module? We will be able to start messing around with it.
To be honest, they haven't said, but they were really working with that system with the asteroid hangar. So it might drop when the asteroid hangar drops.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who have that the pirate pack and are really anticipating that asteroid hangar, and they're kind of getting a little antsy because it's so far out, and I'm hoping we get it soon because we've seen the concept art for it. We've seen some in-depth video, them walking around. We saw it where they mentioned it with the the room system. So it looks like it's close to being done, but I think we're still a ways away from that.
I just, I'm sitting here thinking about, hangar customization and stuff like that. And the first thing that pops into my head is, all right, me and Brandon, we're hanging out in my hangar. We're going to get on one of my ships. And it's like, oh yeah, look at all these corporate flags and stuff that I have. I'm so proud. And Brandon's like,
towels.
What's that flag over there? Oh, don't worry about that flag, Brandon. That's just that's a small corporation. Don't worry about that flag. It's my secret pirate corporation. Don't worry about that one. But let's go over here. Just that kind of stuff. Having like corporate logos and stuff, and maybe flags or plaques or some crap for achievements or things that you can put someplace or whatever, because that's what hangars and stuff are, right? That's and typically in games, guild housing or player housing is your place to show off how much of an internet badass you are,
right?
But I can just see it someday. Some guy walking to someone else's hangar and seeing something that he shouldn't have seen, and someone's cover getting blown.
They're dead,
right?
Yeah.
Invite those carefully into organizations that require humanitarian operations. Is all I'm saying.
Yes, those humanitarian love packets must be kept safe.
Yeah,
right. Well, did we miss anything? Or are we good for tonight? I think we're good. Right?
Unless you want me to read a chapter out of this Wing Commander book I'm reading.
Oh, no.
It gets nice and steamy, trust me.
Yeah, there was a saucy chapter.
Commander.
Yeah, we were doing our audio check today, and we came across a saucy package there. Or passage, not package. Or maybe it was a saucy package. Who knows?
Thomas has humanitarian love packets on mind.
So, just a few quick things. We did mention, because we were on our series break, but there are very limited quantities left of the softbound jump points. So I think they were under 120 or so, 150, somewhere in that ballpark as of time of recording. So if you haven't gotten a chance to get that order and you want to get that in, they are sold out of the hardcover ones for Imperator subscribers. I have no doubt that they'll probably will be reprinted and reran at some point. But if you want to get that sooner rather than later, that is your opportunity. Also, be sure that you are checking your emails, particularly people at the concierge level, for that invitation if you want to go to the next great starship. And also, if you had a card reprinted, I know some of us requested new cards with new pledge levels. Check your emails as well. They did say that they're getting ready to get those printed. make sure your addresses and everything are updated as well. So if this is your only news outlet, and I do apologize if this is your only news outlet, but if this is your only news outlet, thank you. And make sure you check your emails from RSI. And sometimes they hit different folders if they're sent through different systems. Particularly that concierge comes from them, but on behalf of somebody else, so it might hit a spam folder. So make sure you check that out. I had to dig for one of mine. So that is all for me this evening. I think it's time to wrap up Season 3, Episode 2. We will be back once again in 2 weeks. Be sure you are liking, commenting, subscribing. I don't know why I have 4 fingers up now for that, but like, comment, and subscribe. 4 fingers. I still did it again.
And
because I'm doing.
It's because they need to bring their towel. That's the fourth one.
Oh, that's the fourth. Or syllables that I'm saying, putting a finger up with each syllable. But anyway, also iTunes reviews are awesome, so make sure you're putting those iTunes reviews out there. The video streams on iTunes are getting. Most of our views are starting to transition over to the SD feed. So if you want to keep that HD feed around in iTunes or your pod-catching place of choice, make sure you're subscribing there as well. If the numbers switch to SD only, I'm pretty much only going to post an SD feed just because it's easier to encode once and post. So make sure you are subscribing. If you are, like I said, our SD numbers are booming and our HD numbers are not. Maybe something is going on with iTunes and search rank or something. But anyway, so that's all from me. Bobby, Brandon, do you guys have anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right, guys. Well, we will catch you in 2 weeks. I want just awkward silence to fill for a few seconds, because awkward silence makes the world go round. Awkward.
Only if Bobby touches you.
I was about to start, I counted down, and then you had to say that. Now I'm cracking up, so I have to do another countdown. So, here we go. I'm doing a visual countdown on my side. Spooge. There may or may not be a blooper reel on this episode. I don't know.